Welcome to the Cali Curling Club in Regina, Saskatchewan. We are here for the U Sports and CCAA National Championships. My name is Brian McCusker. I have with me Catherine Clifford, and Catherine will be offering some commentary as we go along. And our feature game today is going to be between the Concordia University of Edmonton Thundermen and the Gaillard du CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue men. And this should be a really good game. The Gaillard are 2-1. They beat Mohawk in their opening game. Then they beat Southern Alberta Institute of Technology and lost yesterday to Humber. So they're 2-1. Concordia comes in at 0-3. They lost to Sioux in their first game, to Assiniboine College in their second, and then in their third game they lost to Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. So Catherine, welcome. For those who don't know, Catherine is a former U-Sport champion herself and currently plays third for Serena Gray Withers, the team that lost the Alberta Scotty Provincial Final in a heartbreaker to Selena Sturmey. So welcome, Catherine.
Thanks, Brian. I'm super excited to be here today.
So it looks like Concordia has won the hammer. Their last shot draw total was better. And so CEGEP will start with a center guard. And the lead for the Abitibi team is Marc-Antoine Robert. So what we've seen, Catherine, in the previous games is the ice starts very, very fast in the first end. Probably 15 and a half, maybe 15 seconds to the tee line. And we've seen a number of teams get fooled a little bit in the first end and overthrow, but this looks like a really good one for Marc-Antoine.
Those are always super tricky in the first end. It's a bit of a fresh path from drawing in. And you want to make sure that that is out of the rings, but usually the miss on those would be to put it in the house, just to make sure we don't get too complex of an end in the first end.
Grayson Clark is the lead for Concordia, and he's going to throw an out-turn draw around that rock. And this is exactly what we were talking about. The players just a little bit fooled by the speed in the first end. And interestingly, Concordia had the first practice, so it's especially going to be different for them because the team from Abitibi would have broken down the pebble a little more in their practice. So the speed could be quite different for Concordia from when they last threw their practice rocks until right now.
So for a little bit of context, this is a 14-9 coming in. And it looks like it's a bit of a minimal sweep to the top four. So I would say it's pretty quick ice, especially in the first end.
Yeah. A couple of really good shots by Marc-Antoine Robert. So Grayson was telling me before the game this is actually his first year of really competitive curling. So obviously he's doing extremely well for a player with not a lot of experience.
So a really effective carve and a great shot to get that just a piece tucked into that center guard.
Yeah, that was an important shot for Concordia because they were in a little bit of trouble. Still not off the hook. This will be a chance now. And it looks like Abitibi is going to throw around the guard and come up to their own rock. So this is the second, Gabrielle Odette. Just a little bit heavy and it bounced off, and that's going to give an opportunity now for Concordia with their second, Anthony Ogue, to make an out-turn hit, possibly a double takeout to lie 2. Got that outside, and that's a whiff. So that's going to give a chance now for CEGEP de l'Abitibi to come in again. And now they're looking possibly at a hit and roll, but they've decided on playing an out-turn draw around to try to lie 3. Got a pretty good result out of that. That was considerably heavier than he wanted to throw, but he did manage to tick one of the yellow rocks into the 4-foot behind cover. And so Anthony is now going to try to play that same out-turn tap.
So it's really important on this one to either get right to the yellow or even sitting in front would be a pretty good outcome. Concordia just needs a rock to be usable moving forward. They have lots of end left to play.
And it seems like both teams are really getting fooled by the lack of curl on that out-turn. Everything is being missed broomside. And that one also quite a bit heavy. So the Gaillards will keep piling them in. They're going to try to throw another out-turn draw around into the front 4-foot. And this is their third, Nathan Baudouin-Gendron.
We saw on our broadcast yesterday that this out-turn was running quite straight and a little bit quicker than the in-turn. So I would say that whichever team picks up on that first, I would put money would win this game.
Yeah. It stays so straight at the end of my rock.
And so far, no one has picked up on it. Again, a little bit heavy and a little bit wide. And that gives an opportunity again for Concordia to get to the face of that rock.
And it is really important that as more rocks go down the same path, that path gets fully keyed in and it does get even faster. So I thought that was a really good adjustment. I got a 15-1 on that rock, but
still heavy.
Just not accounting for repeated throws, and it's skating.
Joel McDonald is the third for Concordia. And he just ticks off that rock. So once again, a little bit heavy and a little bit too much out to the broom. So Nathan will try it again.
So I'd love to see this like a high 15 for time, and even putting it in the top 12 would be a really great shot.
Absolutely. So that's a great adjustment by Nathan. He took quite a bit of weight off. He used the sweepers. He's put that rock in a very usable position. And it's going to force Concordia now to switch turns and go the other way.
So as a sweeper, you need to be really on the ball on this shot. This is an unplayed path so far. So it's going to be a little bit slower than the out turn and probably curl just a little bit more as well.
So that's not a bad attempt. It didn't quite curl enough. A really good guess on weight by Joel there, though. So Lagardes are looking at, I think, just guarding Catherine. It looks like with that ice, like they're just trying to play a guard on those two reds.
Yeah, they have a really good setup so far. 2 frozen on the side of the forefoot. I think where it gets dangerous for them, if Concordia could promote one of their rocks and freeze one in there. But a great looking spot for a steal so far.
This is the first rock for the Abitibi skip, Adam Bedard.
Back 8! Back 8! Back 4! Back 4!
It looks like he was playing to come right in, or he might have just been a little bit heavy, I'm not sure, but he has opened it up a little bit for Concordia. They've got a couple of rocks now that they can tap.
Just on the nose. What? Yeah, slash it over.
So this is Sean Barkovic.
Yep.
Skip for Concordia, and he's playing a big weight hit on that yellow, try to rub the red in, and that is a great shot. That was the shot the Concordia team really needed.
A little bit of celebration there from Sean, so I love to see that energy out on the ice this morning.
So Adam Bedard is now going to play a similar shot. It looks like he's going to play an out-turn hit and roll. And if he can get about a half of that red rock, he can probably roll in, make the double, and lay 2. Trying to carve to get some curl. He's really close. Wow.
Oh, great shot.
Pretty good show by the 2 skips here in the first end. And some emotion there. A high five and That is a great shot. Well read, really well swept. A good job by the third in calling the sweep. And boy, the pressure is on Sean Barkovic as he...
What's the time here? To what? Okay, we need full 4.
And this is a really tough shot to have to throw in the first end, Catherine. Draw cold to the side of the forefoot against 2.
Both had a great read of this spot. He's saying 14-7, so just indicating that it's a shade slower than that out-turn cutoff. This was really close.
And that also was a really good shot. Just to cut them down to 1 is a really good result for Sean Barkovic there. So, very entertaining first end. The CEGEP to Labitibi-Temaskaming team with a steal of 1, and they go up 1-0.
So during our quick break here, we would like to thank the University of Regina Alumni Association. They are the voice of more than 95,000 graduates worldwide. We're a very proud sponsor of the Rams and Cougars teams and the athletic excellence they display, whether it's on the field, on the court, in the pool, or on the rink. Go Rams, go Cougars, go far together. So CEGEP is not letting off the gas with that steal of 1. They're calling for the center guard in the second end.
Yeah, and I like this. They're going to play very aggressively. 1 point lead with 7 ends to go really is nothing. And they know that this is their game. They like to play aggressively, and this is good to see. Another good start for Marquette Longer there. And once again, we'll see Grayson Clark try to come around that. That's a really good adjustment by Grayson. He was heavy last end, but he dialed in this time, and that's an absolutely perfect shot, just biting the front of the button. So a little bit about this team, the Les Gaillards de CEGEP de Labitibi-Temaskaming. They are the RSEQ champions, the Quebec Conference champions. However, they were the only team entered, so they didn't have to win a championship, they just entered. However, don't let that fool you. This is a very accomplished team. The third, Nathan Baudouin Gendron, just finished winning the U18 National Championship. All of these players have played in at least 2 U20 National Championships representing Quebec, and they've got a very impressive resume. As shown by their results so far here this week, they're 2-1. They beat Mohawk in their first game, they beat Sade, and then they lost to Humber, but we saw that Humber team yesterday, Catherine, and that's a very good team. So I think this team from Quebec is definitely a contender here.
Definitely agree. We saw Humber yesterday the skip of Humber make a pressure draw for the win, which is something that you really want to see early in a championship from your skip.
Okay, 4 very impressive shots by the leads. A really nice freeze by Marc-Antoine Robert, and then followed up by a great freeze by Grayson Clark. Now, Adam Bedard has got to be pretty happy with the angle on those rocks. So even though there are 2 reds in there, the way they're angled is his yellow rock is going right onto that red shot rock. So it's a situation that actually we may see Concordia try to unlock those a little bit, try to change the angles and get the angles a little bit better for them.
Anytime you can be the middle of that sandwich, so your opposition rocks on either side of yours, even though they have 2 rocks in the rings in comparison to below 1 rock, it's generally quite a safe spot for yours.
Correct. That's a very good shot by Gabriel Audette. And this is a smart call, I think, by Sean Barkovic. He needs to get rid of that rock. That's not a great situation in the house right now for him. So he needs to open the front up, and really important for Concordia to score here. And a good peel by Anthony Oak. So Adam figures, hey, they didn't like that guard there, so let's put it back. So a good guard by Gabriel, maybe a little deeper than he wanted. It may give an opportunity for the Concordia team to run that one in and readjust those rocks in the 4-foot.
It looks like they've just indicated for the straight peel here.
Another well-executed peel by Anthony.
I'm a little surprised by that. Would you have tried to connect in the middle with the depth of that guard?
I would have, yes. Yeah. It's really just going to give the CEGEP team an opportunity to get a better guard, a longer guard up. That may have been the one opening that Concordia had to try to rearrange those rocks in the 4-foot.
I definitely agree. So anytime you're playing with hammer, you just want to try to create space in that 4-foot for your skip. And right now with that Yellowstone half in the 4-foot, there's just not a ton of space for Concordia to get in there to get a second point.
And Nathan Baudouin-Gendron with just a little bit too much of an adjustment on the fast ice here. He took too much off that and they couldn't get it over the hog line. So now I really like this call by Sean Barkovic. He's just playing soft weight and trying to rearrange the angles on those rocks. So he'll try to hit the top yellow into those rocks and get a little bit of an unlock on that red on yellow on red situation. No, he's playing straight onto the red, which is also a good option. And that's better. That definitely improved the angles.
So it'll be interesting. This was a very straight spot with the in-turn yesterday. So we'll see if he gets enough curl to make this flop under the stagger.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the ice that Adam has given, because this may be a bit of a guess for him, but he put the ice right in the middle of the rock, which is exactly where you wanted it. You got maybe a little bit more curl than they expected, but that's a pretty good shot by Nathan Baudouin-Gendron. Now the Thunder are playing a hit on that front yellow. I think they're going to try to, with soft weight, hit and roll and have 3 in the rings. And this is really over curling. So the Labitibi team will now try to remove that red rock. If they play it with soft weight and hit and stick, they can actually lay 3 here. So based on the ice that Adam Bedard is given here, I'm expecting they're throwing probably about hack weight. Catherine, do you think?
That should be really close. I'm anticipating maybe just a shade swing on this out-turn side.
Good act! Marco! Les deux! C'est très serré! On lance pas! On lance pas! Oh, les gars!
Really well managed rock. Great weight control. Really well swept.
I just papered that yellow.
Yeah.
So a bit of a tough situation from Concordia. Like I had mentioned earlier, there's just not a ton of space in that forefoot to allow them to score right now.
I'm thinking Sean is just playing a
Nose tap. I don't know how they get rid of it.
yeah, a tap back. It's really hard for him to get
Yeah,
shot rock here.
They'll probably play a blast and go get a jam.
That's a really smart call. Anything
back
behind the tee line is really going to
A couple
help you.
feet more than the draw last time. Question? Still tight. Pull. Line's good. Curl. Hard curl. Hard.
That's a pretty good result, actually. He did. He probably would have wanted to hit a little bit less weight on that and keep that yellow as more of a jam possibility, but at least it's going to give him an opportunity on his last one, because if Adam Bedard hits this and sticks, then it will leave Sean Borkovic a run back on his own in the front 12-foot, and he could get shot that way.
So would you be playing to nose this red or to roll under the other red?
I would probably try to roll under. But nose is not a bad result either. It would take that draw to the button away. Which one do you like, Catherine?
Well, I don't think the skip in Concordia has thrown a draw yet this game, so I wouldn't mind the roll under
Oh, Eddie!
just to force that.
Yeah.
Marco! Marco!
I think if my opposition has been hitting the button, no problem all game, I would just nose and force them to play a tricky little finesse hit.
Whoa, whoa, Ebel.
That's a pretty good shot.
So
Sean Borkovic has not exactly had the easiest shot so far in his first 4 shots of this game. And now he's faced with another tough one, a run back where he needs to absolutely stick that one in the 4-foot, or he could easily give up a steal of 2 here.
this is a spot that yesterday when we saw the teams pick the weight up, we saw a couple under curls, so I'm interested to see how this runs for Sean.
Normal. Hard.
This is really close.
Yeah, it looks good. Grayson trying to keep it straight. Oh, that's too bad. He threw that rock really well. So it's going to be a steal of 2 for the CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue team, and they go up 3-0 after 2 ends. Okay, we're back for end 3 with the CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue team up 3-0 on Concordia. So a little bit about the Gaillard du CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue men's team. As I said, they are the acclaimed champions of the Quebec Conference. Their team name, Le Gaillard. The translation into English, they were telling me before the game, is big, strong guys. So they are the big, strong guys of l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue. And if you don't know where l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue is, it's an area in northern Quebec, northwest of Ottawa, kind of bordering on the Ontario border. So, yeah, it's part of the country I have never been in, but I'm sure it's very beautiful. So a nice opening shot by Marc-Antoine Robert. He got it in the rings, which is exactly what they wanted, and now Grayson Clark will try to throw a corner guard.
With Concordia being down 3 points now, they have to take on a little bit more risk and throw that corner guard off the hop as opposed to playing a delayed corner guard.
Yeah, and especially in an 8-end game, there just isn't a lot of time to try to get back into it. So being 3 down with 6 ends to go, you're right, Catherine. They really need to play very aggressively here. And on the other hand, the Gaillard want to try to keep things fairly open here. So they want this rock in the rings. They're coming around their own rock in the front 8 foot. They don't want any rocks up front. And as soon as they're able, they may start peeling.
So Brian, at what point differential do you feel comfortable throwing multiple rocks in the rings or in the key?
Without hammer, do you mean?
Yes.
I would say 3 up. Even 2 up, I like to stay aggressive. But it also depends on how many ends are left, who your opposition is, how you feel they can play the aggressive game. I think a lot of factors go into that. What does your team do? When do you stop throwing center guards?
I think we have also discussed 3 points up. What I don't like to see is when we're only 2 points up, giving the other team multiple cracks at making that hidden roll under the corner guard.
Yeah.
So I think the hidden roll is a very difficult shot, and it's not going to be made all the time, but I would say at least 1 in 4 is going to be made, and if you give them 6 chances at it, I think you're going to be in trouble for needing to make a run back.
I totally agree. I'm a big fan of keeping the pressure on, making the other team play hard shots and not easy ones.
So another play that I've seen by Brad Jacobs, actually, when they get up a couple points, is they'll put 2 in the key, so right on the center line in front of the 4-foot. And then the third one, they'll actually come around and throw on the side of the 4-foot instead of throwing that center guard.
Yeah, and that's partly to avoid an overlap, right? Which is what you talked about yesterday. When you get rocks overlapped in the rings, it makes it really difficult to use them. And so if you throw to the side 4-foot, it really avoids the chances of that overlap, and it makes your rocks more usable later in the end.
I think I also would really like to throw side 4-foot if I have Brett Gallant making 95% of the run backs on the corner guard as well.
True. It's a little bit different when you've got that quality of player. So here you can see an example of Adam Bedard just really not wanting all of these rocks in play. So he's going to try to run that rock in. He's got 2 pretty well situated rocks on the center line there. And Concordia has a really good rock behind that corner guard.
Oh, great shot there.
Yeah, really nice run back by Odette. So now Sean Borkovic will try to get rid of that rock in the middle. He'll try to hit and roll behind those double corners. And this end is actually setting up pretty good for Concordia. Really close to a great shot, but still pretty good by Anthony Oak. He did get the hit and roll, just didn't roll quite far enough, and it looks like about 3/4 of that rock is available. And Adam Bedard is going to go after it with soft weight.
This does force CEGEP into a new path. I don't believe we've seen anything with the in-turn off center line coming this way.
So the coach for Les Gaillards, Patrick Bedard, was telling me before the game that the young man throwing, Nathan Baudouin-Gendron, started curling when he was 4 years old. That is amazing. I mean, actually, all 4 of these Quebec players started at a very young age. Concordia now with a chance to hit and lay 3. Joel McDonald playing this out-turn hit, and he just got a little bit too thin. Did get it out of the 8-foot, so they are lying 2, but that would have been a really good opportunity for them to lie 3.
And just a little bit of a tricky piece of ice there. So we saw that in-turn spot that CEGEP just threw to really move there, and that out-turn to stay quite straight.
Yeah. You talked yesterday, Catherine, about mapping the sheet and the importance of mapping the sheet, knowing where all the contours are, where it's curling, where it's going straight. And one thing I've really noticed this morning is that this sheet is mapping very differently than it did yesterday. There's a good shot by Nathan Baudin-Chaudron. He just missed the double takeout, but he did get the front one.
I would definitely agree. I think we're seeing a little bit of a different style of throw than we saw from the players yesterday. Jake Horgan plays on slam ice quite often and has a bit of a more aggressive release than we're seeing today.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So I really like the amount of curl that the players today are able to get out of the ice, and it's a little bit more controlled than yesterday. I was talking a lot about not wanting to see that rock open up, so when you throw the rock and you have a keep it there release, having the rock not curl at all down the ice and just continuing to fall back. Today the players are always getting a little bit of curl, even with an out-turn in a spot that I think is going to run a little straighter. So I really like to see that. They're doing a great job of controlling where the rocks are going to go.
And you may wonder, well, how can the ice be that different from day to day? Well, the reason is they scrape the ice after every draw, and overnight they would have done a lot of work on the ice with the scraper, and they also, with the scraper, will change the adjustment of the blade to either take more or less snow off, and that can make a big difference in how much the rocks curl. So I would imagine that the ice maker here at the Cali, Dean Molding, did a lot of work overnight. He probably noticed that the ice was very straight yesterday, and I think that he has got a little bit more curl, especially in the spots that we noticed yesterday, Catherine, were running really straight. And I think it's partly that, and it's partly, as you said, just the way the players are throwing the rock and how positive they are on their release.
Generally, at the start of a championship, you have freshly textured rocks, so the rocks themselves are going to grab the pebble more aggressively and curl harder. Then as the championship goes on, those rocks are smoothing out. Ice makers, when they prep the ice, do something called clipping. So they take the scraper and they run it along the surface, and that's what Brian mentioned with the snow. So as the rocks smooth out, the ice makers will clip more, so take more snow off, and that causes the rocks to curl a little bit more. So it's about balancing between how the rocks are smoothing in and the clip that the ice makers are taking off.
Very good explanation. So things still shaping up pretty good for Concordia here to get a deuce and get back in this game. And if Sean Borkovic can sink this one on the in-turn behind the guard, even maybe Christmas tree them a little bit, it's going to make it pretty difficult for Adam Bedard. Great opportunity for a deuce here, at least, for the Thunder. No, he's playing the out-turn around the yellow corner guard, which also is a good option.
So I got a 13-5 on that, so I think that might just be a little too strong in that spot.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. That was a really good opportunity for the Thunder. So it leaves pretty much an open hit for Adam Bedard.
We saw CEGEP over curl in this spot about 4 rocks ago. You can see that they've taken quite a bit more ice, so they're thinking the spot is curling and they're going to throw it accordingly.
nice shot by Adam Bedard. Nice control weight there. I got a 10.3 on that one, which is very controllable weight. And you can see that his outside sweeper carved that a little bit at the end, and they did get some movement on it, which you can do when you throw soft weight like that. So a disappointing result for Concordia. They thought they were going to get a deuce or even a 3. Now they're going to have to settle for a blank hand. And Sean got that one going and hits and sticks for a 1. So more disappointment for Concordia. So the score after 3 ends of play is the Gaillard de CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue are 3 and the Concordia Thunder 1. Back for the 4th end. Concordia will try to generate a steal here, and they'll ask for a center guard from Grayson Clark to lead.
So you're down 2 in the 4th end. You don't have hammer. Are you tempted to throw a double center?
Yes, I am. And you can't worry about what the other team does. If they put 2 around into the 4-foot, you have to take the chance with that. You've got to get those double centers and make sure that the other team doesn't have any chance to hit guards. And that one just didn't curl quite enough. Great weight by Grayson, but that's that spot again that we noticed Catherine is very, very straight, and that one just didn't come up enough. See really good rotation in this rock by Marc-Antoine Robert. It's interesting, Catherine, back when I was playing very competitively in the 1990s and early 2000s, we did not throw anywhere near the kind of rotation that you throw right now. In fact, much of the ice was so straight that we had to learn to throw less rotation to get the rocks to curl. And if you ever go back on YouTube and look at old footage from Scotties and Briars back in the 90s, you'll see players are throwing 1.5, 2 rotations on rocks. And now it's pretty common for teams to throw 5, 6, 7 rotations on rocks.
I definitely agree that technical over the years has definitely changed. But I think what hasn't changed is the skill that it takes for players just to get the speed right. So hitting the 4-foot is still hitting the 4-foot when you really need it.
Yeah.
Whether you're throwing 3 or whether you're throwing 8 rotations.
For sure. this is another beauty coming in from Marc-Antoine Robert. So the CEGEP team with a 3-1 lead right now, and you can give a lot of credit for that to their lead, Marc-Antoine Robert. This is the third end in a row that he has made 2 perfect shots to set the end up. And it just seems like Concordia is chasing. This will be a run back attempt by Anthony Ogue.
Looks really close. Oh, great shot.
A really good shot.
The run back double, and that was a tough one. That looks 12 feet out of the rings.
Yes. And there must be some Concordia parents out on the bleachers, because I saw quite a bit of clapping after that shot.
That's awesome. And that's part of the fun of playing this championship, is having the opportunity to have fans on the ice and being able to interact with them. Especially when they make an amazing shot like that.
Come on! Hard! Stop balls!
So this is a 14-6, so this should be all there.
A good shot by Gabriel Odette, maybe a little bit deep. Yeah, I see a few fans out on the bleachers there, and if you watch curling on TV or on streaming and you've never been at a live event, I have to tell you, it is a completely different game when you are out on the ice and you can hear the players and hear the interactions and hear the sweep calls live. It's just really exhilarating to watch curling live.
It's been amazing to watch the Olympics and to see the crowds there and even just hear them in the building.
I was just thinking the same thing. What an amazing atmosphere they have in Cortina there with the fans from all the different countries and all of the chanting and cheering. It just like it looks like it would be so much fun to be there. And my wife, Joan McCusker, actually is there. She's calling curling for Olympic Broadcast System. And she has sent back some videos of what's going on in the stands. And it just looks really amazing. It's such a great atmosphere.
Whoa! Whoa!
Gabriel Odette, just a little bit heavy again. He would rather have had that rock in the front 8 foot with that line. And it's going to give Concordia an opportunity to freeze one in there, and it could be very difficult to get out if they can make a good freeze here. This is the third Joel McDonald. That was a great sweep attempt, but just not quite enough. Joel pulled the string a little bit.
And that's a really tough one because you've seen 3 rocks in a row come deep on that line. You really don't want to overthrow and chap off the back 2. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're down to that yellow, even if you're all the way down to it, so your rock can't be removed by the opposition.
Yeah, the miss there probably would have been heavy. This is a really good looking shot from Nathan Gendron. They might have overcooked this one a little bit. Great line. Maybe 6 inches too deep. And I think this is the right call by Sean Borkovic. He's playing a tap back on that shot. He looked at an in-turn through the port to come back to those in the back forefoot, but he really needs to move this rock off the button. And the struggles continue. A little bit heavy and wide by Joel McDonald, and this is going to give the CEGEP team a chance to guard that one up and create even more trouble for Sean Borkovic.
So this ice is looking quite sensitive to the weight that the players are throwing. So if you pick your weight up at all, it seems to run very straight, and I think make the players look a little sillier than how they actually threw the rock.
Yeah, that is a beauty. Great shot by Nathan Baudouin-Gendron.
We're gonna lose that back red, but I think we have to rip something. Oh, we might.
Yeah, you definitely have to rep something, Sean. And I wouldn't worry about losing that back red. The chances of that rock counting are pretty slim right now. So he's got to give himself a chance to just have a shot on his last one. Oh, he got a little unlucky there. That was really close to making a double and getting that rock off of the button. And I think that Adam Bedard now will really just try to replace that rock, throw the exact same shot as Nathan threw, and get it right there in the front 8-foot, maybe a corner buried, and it's going to be big trouble for Concordia without hammer.
Ça aligne du centre pour bloquer le freeze. L'attente est combien? 47. OK. Fait qu'on peut aller sur 40.
So the sweepers need to be really heads up on this one. You do not want to take it deep. It looks like they're indicating it might be a little deep. 15-2. Time says you're pretty close.
Pretty good weight. He didn't get the curl he wanted. He would like to have tucked a little bit of that one. Still a pretty good shot. It's still big trouble for the Thunder.
I really like the placement of that stone, even though they didn't get it completely buried as they were hoping to. This will leave the skip of CEGEP about a 1 foot run back if Concordia does manage to get a rock in there.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing. He's going to try to come in between those rocks and nestle one into the 4 foot there just with draw weight. This is a really tricky shot.
Yes, man.
I'm not really seeing a great other option.
No, I don't see any other option, really.
Where is it? Curl!
And it's going to be an open hit for 5 for Adam Bedard. Actually, he's going to play a draw. He didn't need to hit that rock. He's already lying 4. He just played this draw, so he should have a pretty good idea. Sweeper's just cleaning. And that's a big 5 count for the Abitibi team. So they will lead 8-1 after 4 ends.
Every ticket you buy funds programs all across Saskatchewan, like arts and culture. Buy your tickets today.
Thanks, mister.
Hey, thanks. Want a s'more?
Every ticket you buy funds programs all across Saskatchewan, like sports, culture than parks and recreation. Buy your tickets today.
I'm Dev Panchal. I'm a fourth-year film student at the UFR. I came here in Regina back in 2017 from India and finished my high school here, and I'm here since then. So the creative media team at the University of Regina is made up of students from all different faculties, and we are responsible for live event broadcasting for events at the university, which include our convocations for spring and fall, and our varsity sports events, any other events happening at the UFR. So my current role with the creative media team is a director and switcher. So I switch cameras, I am in communication with the team staff, I make sure that everything is operated nice and smooth, and I'm responsible for whatever goes onto the broadcast. And I think this has expanded my skills, so I can not only go into film and TV, but also get a career in this live event broadcasting. I think my biggest learning since involvement in the team is my people skills. I think I have interacted with a lot of students from different faculties, different backgrounds, which I was not able to get in my own class. And I think just talking to people, learning from them, learning from their experiences is a skill I value. So this hands-on learning experience has helped me open doors off campus. Some of them is working with the sports team, such as Saskatchewan Roughriders and other media production companies in the province. I think creative media team is a great opportunity for hands-on learning, just because it gives you the opportunity to expand on your skill sets. Everyone brings different skills to the table, so I think they all come together to create a collaborative work environment. So I would recommend all students to explore hands-on learning opportunities that are present to them.
Break. You saw a commercial there for Regina Hotel Association. The Regina Hotel Association extends a warm welcome to all teams, officials, and fans. Whether you're throwing rocks or cheering from the stands, we hope your stay here in Regina is a championship-level experience. For a stay that's right on the button, visit stayinregina.com. And we also want to acknowledge another sponsor, Sask Lotteries. For more than 50 years, Sask Lotteries has been the main fundraiser for more than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups in communities across the province. Since 1974, through an agreement with the Government of Saskatchewan, lottery sales in Saskatchewan have been used to provide more than $1.4 billion to support athletes from the grassroots level to the international stage, connect youth to artistic experiences, help residents experience the beauty of the parks that cover the province, and so much more. Learn more about lottery beneficiaries as well as games, jackpots, winning numbers, and more at sasslotteries.ca. So thanks to both of those sponsors and all the other sponsors of this event. So a big 8-1 lead for the Gare du CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue team. But 4 ends to go for Concordia. They can still generate some offense here and get back in this.
So if you are Concordia's coach at the break, what are you saying to the guys?
What I'm saying is let's use these last 4 ends to try to learn the ice, to try to get some momentum going into the next game. Just try to execute shots, and we've still got lots of time here in this game. We've still got lots of games remaining in this competition. Let's just try to get better. And in fairness to them, the CEGEP team has just made a lot of really good shots. They've taken some ends away with some big shots. And And here's a bit of a mistake by Grayson Clark. It looks like he's come into the rings with that rock, and this is something that I'm sure, Catherine, that your team is very familiar with. After the break, the ice can be a little faster, although I'm not sure if they mop here.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure either. But generally after, like you said, during the break with the mop, it does get a little faster, but it really depends on the ice surface for how that presents.
So this is a rare opportunity for the lead, Marc-Antoine Robert, to play a hit. And he is able to get that one out. These don't get to play a lot of hits.
And great job on him to make contact there. It seems like there is a couple tricky spots in the ice, and that in turn along the 8-foot line seems to be one of them. We saw 1 or 2 flashes during our game yesterday.
We did,
in that
yeah,
spot.
you're right. Well, Grayson really punished the sweepers on that one. He made them work all the way down, but he did get it over. A good adjustment by him. And Adam Bedard has decided he really doesn't want that rock in the back of the ring, so he tried to sweep it right through. It's a little bit heavy by Gabriel. That's a good shot by Anthony O. That's a double stack corner guard.
Now, Brian, do you prefer a double stack corner guard, or do you like a corner on either side?
You know, that's a really good question. I haven't decided which one I like. I know it's really difficult to double stack guards. You have to make sure you get good separation between them. But I would say in general, I prefer that. That I find when you put a corner guard on each side, it's very difficult to use both corner guards. Now, we saw a game yesterday where the Memorial team was 2 down or 1 down coming home with hammer and got double corner guards and used them very effectively to count 2. But I like the double stack. And this is exactly what I mean. It's just a really difficult thing to do. Your weight has to be so precise. Very difficult to throw that guard just over the hog line, the long guard. And so this is going to give a possible double opportunity for the CEGEP team. Although I think Adam Bedard may be just playing a single peel here. Yeah, based on the way they swept that, he definitely was, and that's a smart call. You don't really need to get fancy here when you're up 8-1.
So Concordia School has had a really successful curling program over the years. Primarily, they've had actually Evan Van Amsterdam skipping for I want to say 2020 to around 2021, 2022. And he brought home 2 championships for Concordia during that time. Evan's still a really great player and is very active on tour. I want to say he's within the top 15 of the world right now ranked.
Yeah, Evan's team had really an incredible year this year. They won a lot of money and did very well on the Bonspiel circuit. They got off to a great start at the Alberta Provincials and then had a couple of tough losses and were out. But that's a great team.
He's actually teamed up with a couple of former Golden Bears that would have played in the U Sports, so Jason Ginter as well, and Parker Conchu. Jason would have won the 2018 U Sports for the Alberta Golden Bears with Karsten Sturmey.
Jason also a several-time Brier competitor, a couple of times playing out of BC, once with Jacques Gauthier and once with Katlin Schneider. So is Evan Van Amsterdam, is he from Edmonton?
Yes.
He is, okay.
So Evan actually played with his older brother Tyler on the Concordia team, and they won a championship together, so I think that's pretty awesome. And then you'll see in the program that Evan's younger brother Anders is actually skip of the Nate Ooks.
I did see another guy walking around with a Van Amsterdam on his back, so I was wondering if that was another brother. So this Concordia team, all Alberta natives. Sean Borkovic is from St. Albert. Joel McDonald from Sherwood Park, so a couple of Edmonton guys. Anthony Ogue is from High Prairie, and Grayson Clark is from Grand Cache, Alberta. So again, Concordia generating a little bit of pressure here. They've got a couple of rocks in the rings. It's going to be important for Adam Bedard to hit and stick on this one. Oh, and he just got in a spot where we've seen a few rocks there not curl very much, and that one he got out a bit. He ended up picking his own rock out, and it gives an opportunity for Concordia to either come around that rock or just to play a hit on the front one and lay 3. I really think, Catherine, if they're going to bring that red rock at the front 12-foot into play, that they should make a play on it right now. The chances of counting more than 3 are very slim because it's always going to be an open hit on that shot rock for the CEGEP team. What do you think? Do you like this call?
I personally like the hit and roll. Let's see CEGEP throw a tricky double, and especially if you can roll just to the center line. If they're throwing a double along that with the outturn along the center line, I would love to see that if I was the Concordia team. But Sean, the skip of the Concordia team, has been throwing quite a few draws. So at the end of the day, I like whatever strategy my skipper is going to make.
Not a bad result. He has left a double, but that's a pretty steep double for Adam Bedard. And it looks like the CEGEP team has called a timeout, so let's listen in. Their coach is Patrick Bedard.
Juste 5 take-out à gauche.
Juste 5 take-out, on peut pas dans le double.
C'est ça qu'on callait aussi. Ouais, mais c'est ça qu'on regarde. T'as collé le timeout en 1 seconde à peu près, là. Non, non. Ouais. 10? Ouais. 10. Ah ouais.
Oui, faut rester shot idéalement. Mais tu sais, si.
Faut rester
si
shot,
on est
c'est à
fait,
rouge à droite.
C'est juste ça. Faut que c'est ça.
Ouais, Nate, meilleur des mondes, c'est genre ça. Ouais. 40? Correct là, je pense.
And I think they've just decided to just play a hidden stick on that rock. It really doesn't make sense to try to play the double. If he can hit and stick, it really is going to ensure that Concordia doesn't score more than 2 here. So this is a spot where we've seen rocks over curl a couple of times. He's got pretty soft weight here. And that was one where it's very important for him to stick. It gives an opportunity for Concordia to get a 3 here by hitting that red rock onto the yellow.
So I don't know if we've quite seen an outturn this far out going away. I'll be interested to see what this does. It looks like he has quite tight ice, so that should match up with what we've seen with the sheet shape so far.
That's a really nice control weight hit by Sean Borkovic. So, just like that, a 3 on the board for Concordia, and they trail 8-4 as we go to the 6th end. So a big 3 spot in the 5th end for Concordia Thunder, and that puts them back in the game, trailing 8-4. And Grayson Kark has really been working the sweepers on his last 2 shots, and that one is short of the hog line.
So at any point when you are up 4 points, do you throw a rock through the rings?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I don't mind throwing this one in. I think it's good to have a kicker on the side. But certainly you want to reduce the amount of clutter in play, and it looks like that's what Marc-Antoine has done. I think he knew that if he was going to miss here, the miss was heavy. And so he puts it through the rings, and that is not going to hurt the CEGEP team at all. That was a rare miss for Marc-Antoine Robert. He's had an outstanding game at lead. Okay, and that's a good recovery by Grayson. He got a really good guard on his second one. So the other option here for the Quebec team, Catherine, would be to throw one to the wings. Do you like this, or do you like coming into the center?
That's a tricky one because I do really like going to the wing. A couple drawbacks with that, it does limit your peel opportunities throughout the end. And then you also know the other team is down 4 points at this point. So they're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at you in the middle.
Exactly,
so if you can get a really good one in there, that's going to limit their ability to shuffle things around and get points on you. But if you ever come deep, like I would say this rock is slightly too deep, that gives them some opportunities to tap back, and now they have some opportunities to work within the center. So it's about what type of risk your team is willing to take on, and I would also say how your lead is playing that game.
Slow down. 3, 2.
Sean Borkovic, knowing that he needs to ignore that rock in the rings, he needs to get guards up, and so he wisely has asked for another guard from Anthony Ogue, and he's made it perfectly.
Would you ever take on the double peel here?
I would, but given the score with a 4-point lead and hammer, I don't mind just keeping it simple here and just playing the single peel. I think this is something you find as the curling level gets more and more elite, teams are more willing to take on that difficult shot, that double peel, because they just know that the other team is not going to miss. So at some point, you're going to have to make the tough shot.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good high guard by Anthony Ogue. Maybe flirting a little bit too much with the hog line, but certainly a good result.
So I'd really love to see CEGEP right now peeling that tight guard as opposed to this long guard.
Yeah, that long guard really was not super valuable for Concordia. And because the back one was available, I think you're right. That was the play. Joel McDonald trying to throw another high guard. Pretty much in the same spot, and this is another case where they certainly could play the tight guard here, but Adam is content to just keep hitting that long guard.
Good shot.
Another good peel, this time by Nathan Baudouin. Gendron. And now Sean is going to change gears and come into the rings and try to freeze to that rock. And I think this is the right call. I think if you throw one more guard, you'd have to be worried a little bit about the CEGEP team then throwing another one in and laying 2. Both of these skips call the game very quickly. We're neither team with any kind of time trouble whatsoever as we go here towards the end of the 6th end. And that one's a little bit light, but if you're going to miss, that's the right way to miss.
Mm-hmm. So these are double peels that, since the rocks are so close together, they're a little bit simpler than if you had quite a bit of separation. But because they're a little bit simpler, I feel that you really need to focus in the hack. It's not just always automatic, and getting the double peel is huge for your team in this situation.
Yeah, and a really important part is for the skip to know exactly where that rock needs to be hit. So that's a good double peel. They would have rather rolled the shooter off as well, but given the angle of those 2 red rocks, I'm not even sure that was possible. So that's a good result for Nathan.
Getting rid of that stagger was the main part of that shot.
For sure, yeah.
So we've seen Sean have this draw line a couple times throughout the game, so I think he'll be really, really close on this one.
That's a great shot, and I got a 15.3 on that, Catherine, which tells me that the ice is really holding up in the middle. Sometimes you'll find that once you get to the 6th end, 7th end, 8th end, the slide path, the part down the center line, gets a little bit flatter and a little bit heavier, but it doesn't seem to be happening here. That was a really good throw by Sean, very well swept, and it puts a bit of pressure on Adam Bedard. He's going to have to play a tough tap back here in a spot that we've seen is a little bit tricky.
À 40. Je veux freeze tirant. Je la vois pas pantoute la pierre, fait que je vois le tap. Ouais, j'ai dit freeze, tap back un peu. Mais le meilleur shot, je pense. Un peu plus. Je la vois pas pantoute.
And you could hear he said freeze tap back, which is the same in every language, apparently. This one's got a curl. So the wave was actually pretty good there if they had been able to sweep that, but because he was outside, they needed to let it get some curl. And it's going to give a really good opportunity for Concordia now to put another one in there. And the steal of 2 is definitely in play here still.
Mm-hmm. So So I think the key for Sean on this is that the tolerance of this rock is going to be top 12 and just blocking CEGEP's draw path for their last rock.
Line's good. 7. Real tight. Yep. Hard. Oh, line's good.
So it looks like line is quite similar to his first.
Yeah, this looks really good. Now they want to make this good. If they can get that frozen right on top of the red, I've got the exact same time as his first one. Pretty good. If that had gone another foot further, that would have been absolutely perfect. Still not an easy shot for the CEGEP team. Adam Bedard will try to slash that one in and stick it there for 2, but I think he would be pretty happy just getting that red out of there and counting 1. If he can count 1 here, he's 5 up after 6 ends and in really good shape.
C'est enough. Raise. Angle raise. Faut juste la toucher. 10. 4, 40. Un peu plus.
Like this. Jab, jab, jab. I fall. C'est quoi ça? Fall là?
Well, he just got that a little bit outside, and it's going to be another steal for Concordia. 8-5. So Grayson Clark opens up with a good guard. That's a good halfway guard. The CEGEP team had an 8-1 lead. It's now 8-5. They really need to stop the bleeding here in the 7th end. And very important for them to get a score here. That's a pretty good shot by Marc-Antoine, maybe a little deeper than he wanted it, but almost fully buried behind that guard. And Sean Borkovic again will try to get all of the guards he can get up. He knows that even though he has just stolen a point, he's still 3 down without hammer, and he really needs to still go all out and ignore those yellow rocks in the ring. That's a couple of good shots by Grayson. 2 good guards. little bit heavy again for Marc-Antoine Robert.
And I think just getting fooled a little bit on the paths there. I think his first with it crossing center, that path seems to be just a shade heavier than that wider, quicker out-turn path that we saw early in the game.
Right, which is pretty typical that if you get to center line, it's going to slow down a little bit. If you never get to center line, you're going to be on that fast ice all the way down.
And that's mainly due to the right-handed hack. The slide path is right on that center line. So it just gets a little bit flatter, especially later in the game.
And this is a mistake by Anthony Og, and he actually hasn't made very many this game. He's played a very strong game, but this is too heavy, and he definitely didn't want to be too heavy. The tolerance there would have been short. And once again, Adam Bedard is into peel mode. And a good peel by Gabriel Odette. Concordia will just replace that guard. They know that the CEGEP team is going to be peeling, and it looks like they are going to take on the double peel this time with Gabriel Odette. Just gets one, but that's still a pretty good shot. Joel McDonald will try to freeze to that rock at the back forefoot. Not a lot of ice, Catherine, but as you mentioned earlier, this is a spot where there isn't a huge amount of curl.
I think this is one of those spots that there might be two ways to get there. So you can either take broom inside the 8 foot, it's a little bit flatter there, and it will just get some nice curl. Or if you get your broom just outside the edge of the 8 foot, it seems like there's a little bit of a dish and it slings off a little harder. So either way, I'm assuming you can get there quite close with half a foot of different broom.
And that was unfortunate for Concordia. That was a really good-looking shot, and they just missed the sweep call a little bit and just feather-ticked that guard. If they had got by the guard, I think that would have been an almost perfect freeze. And the CEGEP team has eliminated the guard, so really no choice for Concordia but to put another guard up. They need rocks in front of the rings. That's a good shot by Joel McDonald.
And although the scoreboard doesn't quite show it in the first half of the game, I thought that Concordia has been getting much stronger with their speed control and getting their rocks in much better places as the game goes on. So I think if I'm Concordia's coach, I'm pulling up a lot of shots from this stream and showing them to the guys and saying, this was pretty awesome and we just need to bottle this and continue on.
Like top four, splitting center.
Yeah, I think the way the last couple of ends have gone have got to be pretty encouraging for Concordia. They had the one really bad end in the fourth end and gave up a big score of 5. But other than that end, they've played pretty well. Concordia throwing one more guard. It's going to be interesting to see what the strategy is for Adam Bedard now. If he peels that guard or tries to come in or tries to hit that red one.
Ouais, c'est parce qu'après ça, je pense qu'on est eu d'orpi. Je pense qu'on est certain qu'on on l'a tout le temps pris, moi.
And it looks like he's decided to peel the guard. I think this makes sense, given the scoreboard. Concordia is going to have an opportunity to make a play on that red onto yellow and potentially lie 3, but it's not an easy shot. This goes back to that freeze attempt by Joel McDonald, that if that had got by the guard, Concordia would have shot rock right now and would be in a lot better situation. Oh, it looks like Adam has pitched it out again.
And that's a really tough shot in that particular spot. I think Adam was quite a bit closer out of his hands than the result showed. But as we've mentioned, that out-turn spot just along center line is very, very tricky, especially when we pick our weight up. It just seems to fall back off the center line.
So do you think Concordia can get enough curl with the out-turn here to tap back the yellow, or are they just trying to play a freeze and try to get shot rock? I would be very tempted to play on the other side of the ice and play the double tap that back and hit red onto yellow and lay 3. Just given the scoreboard that you really need to get a steal of more than 1 point here if you can.
I think they're going for the straight draw. It seems that the sweepers are indicating it's a shade heavy, which is not what we want to see in this out-turn spot.
Well, he does have shot rock. Leaves a tap back for Adam Bedard to count 2 here.
That's it. Là, c'est mon release, là, ça fait une coupe, là, ça fait... J'avais l'impression de 2. Pas bon. C'est le backline à 4-3. Backline, on va faire.
That is a really nice shot by that Adam Bedard for 2. And that's going to be handshakes. So a very good game by the team from Quebec, the Gaillard du CEGEP de l'Abitibi-Témiscamingue. The big strong guys from Quebec. And they get a 10-5 win over Concordia Thunder. So thanks again, Catherine, for being with me. And thanks to everyone for listening. Hope you tune in to more games here. We've got the U Sports game coming up next, and thanks again.